Paris, where protests against the government-imposed fuel hikes hitting French cities throughout the week have now swept across the capital. There have been clashes with police too, with tear gas and water cannon used against demonstrators who've been wearing yellow safety vests. The rallies have left the streets of Paris on fire. 35 protesters have reportedly been detained in Paris on Saturday. According to the Interior Ministry, 81,000 demonstrators came out onto the streets across the country. 2 people were killed and more than 600 injured last weekend when the rallies over fuel tax increases began. Marty Charlotte Dubinsky in Paris has been covering this story from the start.
Here on the Champs-Élysées, as you can see, there's a rally gathering behind me, and there is a row of police vehicles there. Those police vehicles trying to stop the protesters from going further down the Champs-Élysées. To the entrance of the Élysée Palace. As you can see, tear gas has been fired by the police. That's as the protesters were trying to enter into that street to get closer to the Élysée Palace. Gas keeps being shot at the protesters. They keep responding by throwing projectiles towards the security forces. The security forces have also now started using 2 water cannons. As you can see, the water cannons are trying to push down this barrier that's being made by the protesters. They are throwing massive rocks towards the police, essentially picking up what looks like to be the stones from the road and throwing it towards them. I'm having a bit of difficulty opening my eyes right now, and that's because we've just been in the midst of all of this tear gas. As you can see, it makes your eyes red. It's really hard to open them, and at the moment they are just burning uncontrollably. The police are coming. We're having to move now because we're all being pushed up the streets into the tear gas and into the protesters. It really is absolutely crazy here on the streets of Paris. The protesters throwing projectiles, literally taking up some of the stones from the ground, throwing them at the police. They've also been throwing trees, cabinets, literally anything that they can get their hands on. Look at this here. They've overturned some sort of truck as a barricade, clawing at our throats. This is 8 days of protest now, and it looks like these protesters are not giving up here. Complete chaos here on the streets of Paris as the Gilets jaunes take over the Champs-Élysées.
Révolution! Macron, c'est pas ta France à toi!
You can see some of the protesters have now barricaded themselves in this part of the Champs-Élysées. There's tear gas that looks like it's being fired up towards the protesters. They're trying to make as much noise as possible, possibly to make themselves heard in the Élysée Palace, which is about 150 meters away from where we are. This is a road just off the Arc de Triomphe, and as you can see here, we've got some of the scooters. They've become infamous in Paris of late. They're burning here. This is one of the barricades that have been put in place. We're actually being shouted at by a protester right now telling us to not show people's faces, and that's because there has been suggestion that this movement has been hijacked by radicalized individuals from the left and from the right, and there were warnings ahead of this protest in Paris that it was going to get hot, and it seems that those warnings are absolutely right. It was meant to start as fuel protests and protests against the cost of living and living standards here in France, but it just seems that people now are purely angry at the situation and the fact that their president has still refused to meet them to discuss the problems in this country. Things feeling a lot calmer here than they have throughout the last few hours in Paris. The suggestion is that 8,000 people are protesting in Paris today as part of this yellow vest movement. Well, here on the Champs-Elysees, we're still hearing what sounds like to be either sound grenades or tear gas being released. We know, and you can see the flashing lights of the police. The police and the security services are surrounding all of the areas, of course, trying to keep some sort of control on this protest.
All right, shalom. First off, I would like to start by saying our praise to Yahweh Shema Shai, double honors to the elders, by Shema Karkadash, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing work in sincerity and truth. Okay, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 9. I'm gonna get straight to the point. This is chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right. So the Lord already said that these uproars were going to happen, and they're rioting because of the prices going up on I think it was gas. But not only that, they don't have they don't have that many jobs. The jobs are leaving. Right along with other little problems that they got going on, man. But this next scripture is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, right? Destruction to the world, and all you people, man. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, right? America gonna be destroyed. Israel gonna be destroyed. There's gonna be parts of these other nations that get hit by these nuclear missiles. Also, why? Because we at the end of days, man. We at the end of Esau's kingdom and the bringing in of Israel's kingdom. So this kingdom is falling by way of prophecies, and this is one of the prophecies. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another. That's race riots, and we've been watching the race riots happen all over the world. And swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, right? And sedition is people uprising against their governments. And we know how the U.S. usually is the one to send in agent provocateurs to have people rise up against their governments, because the ultimate goal is to bring in this new world order. So, but it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? And that's how bad it's gonna get. And it's already been happening. Not it's going to get. It already happened. A lot of these people have been killing their senators and their governmental officials and stuff. It says, regard their kings nor princes, and the presidents too. The presidents, their leaders. Like Gaddafi is a prime example. It says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of the pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right, man. So because of the pride, of this world and the wickedness and transgenderism, homosexuality, lesbianism, the witchcraft and all of that, the Lord is bringing these plagues upon this place, man. So, you people might as well get as comfortable as possible. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 27, it says, 15 and 26, for the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth them unto death and destruction. Talking about our people, because our people being caught up in this too. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Right, so, that's for our people, man. That's over there that's getting caught up in that stuff. They don't want to follow after their righteousness, the law, statutes, and commandments. We got a brother that woke up in Germany. We got plenty of brothers throughout France, right? Yeah, France or in that area, and they prophesying about the downfall of this world too. And as we can see, all of this stuff is happening right before our eyes. She said they had 2 people that died, might have been more, but France been going through their tribulation for quite some time. To where it's been multiple people that's been dying, but it's still prophecy. So I can see if I can grab one more. Notice when these riots kick off, one of the first things people do is set fires to everything. That's spiritual. Because as this stuff starts to uptick, the prophecy in Luke says there's the Lord coming to send fire, and what will if it be already kindled? And specifically America gonna be on fire before you have a shot come back, because of stuff of that nature. But these other nations are going to have fires set in their countries also. This Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Right? So, if you get caught, if you are dying by way of fire, or dying in general, or all these fires, all this stuff is happening because the spirits that the Lord got doing it in this world. The spirits are the angels. The Lord got his angels setting these blazes, killing these people. But with that being said, I'm gonna drag it out too long. All praise to Yahweh Shema Shai, Bashma Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutation to the brothers that's doing truth and sincerity. Shalom.